Hello, ladies. Welcome to Cocktails and Convo. So we are back. We are back. First of all, listen, look, we're elevating. We have a microphone. Yes. Because these ceilings are so high. We brought Cocktails and Convo back last year, so I've been just kind of figuring things out. It's a one woman show right now. So I said, okay. Um, After trying to edit the audio the last episode, I said, no, ma'am, you got to get yourself a microphone. And I was looking for a few months for a microphone, but everything else it's been a lot of moving parts, ladies. It's been a lot of moving parts. But luckily to the influencer girlies, it was one influencer that posted this microphone, and I was like, okay, I feel like it's a practical one that I can like beginner friendly with, and then I can also provide to my clients. So hi. Okay, let me introduce myself if you're new here. My name is Cheryl Desire. I am the owner, designer, curator, um, transformer here at S Desire Brand. We are a luxury loungewear lifestyle brand. We offer all types of amazing luxury loungewear for women of all sizes. We offer lifestyle content, tips and tricks, recipes, all of the things. And then we also here elevate. So we provide educational content that helps you elevate and empower you to just be your best self while you just living a life of luxury, okay? So welcome to Cocktails and Convo. Make sure you subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. We're building our YouTube and all of the things. So make sure you subscribe, like this video, share to your girlfriends. Today's topic, we are just going to like freestyle, okay? Okay, so what are we drinking tonight? We are drinking something quick that I put together. We did a little muddle of some mint and some orange. We topped it with some ice, of course. Y'all know I love my cocktails with lots of ice. And then we did a hard seltzer and a Luxardo cherry, a little bit of cherry juice to top it off. And we got our straw here because Mama got lipstick on today. I'm gonna go ahead and link the stainless steel straws that we have still in stock in the description box. So anytime you sipping something, always have you a nice little stainless steel straw, okay? So, and what we are wearing today is Lady Luck. She is one of our best sellers. She gives luxury, she gives fabulous, she gives femininity, all of the things. So in your home, you want to luxuriate, you want to feel good, you want to just elevate the way you show up for yourself at home and in the real world. Go ahead and shop our website at SherylDesire.com. So today, we are going to talk about purging. This is a part of the renewal phase of transforming. I know I've been talking about transformation for about a year now, and every little bits and pieces I love to share, especially in real time, because I'm a transformer. I'm always going to be on that journey. And I feel like there's phases. And when you are truly transforming, you have some epiphanies, or you kind of have these moments where you are enlightened. And sometimes it can make you emotional, sometimes it can make you like you're just what's the word? Spontaneous. I had like this spontaneous feeling over the weekend, the holiday weekend. I was like, I need to trash all those wigs. And if you don't know, like I've always been a hair girly. Like my first business was doing hair, like in high school, because I've always been a creative. And like the first thing I did and dabbled in, where I actually earned money was actually doing hair. So when I was in high school, I was doing the girls' hair. I was doing my own hair. I learned how to glue my tracks in when I was 12. So, you know, just me just being a feminine woman, regardless, I've always been into hair. I was at the back in the day, and that's when hair was nice and affordable. I would change my hairstyle every 2 weeks. Whatever new weave that I wanted, I got it. Whatever color I wanted, I got it. Whatever cut I wanted, I got it. And then I was like self-taught. I knew how to do a lot of my styles, and I did it and made money a little bit when I was, I think I started when I was like 14, 15, up until probably my late 20s that I was doing hair, the sew-ins, glue-ins, all of the things. So naturally, when I was getting into my creativity, I actually got interested in doing videos on YouTube. Now, not on this page, but I have a whole nother YouTube channel and you can go ahead and do your Googles. But I actually started a YouTube channel and pretty much started doing wig reviews and hair reviews. It was a niche that I stumbled across because like I said, I was a hair girl. So when YouTube really, really started popping, especially when you started to see girls like you on, like girls like me on YouTube talking about hair, I was like, oh, I could do that. And at the same time, I started S Desire brand around the same time, and I wanted to become more comfortable being on camera and talking. So I said, well, let me just start a YouTube channel and just do it on my phone. So I used the niche of hair and I grew pretty fast doing that. I started with hair. I started just doing hair reviews. I started doing wig reviews, which was super easy because it was like the wig was like $20. So I bought a wig. I tried it on and then I would put my makeup on. I would do these on Saturday night. So I was working the corporate world. And then on Saturday nights was my content day. I was very, very, very disciplined. I was very disciplined because I knew my life had more purpose than me just going to a 9 to 5. So I literally would stay up all night recording videos. And it was like my part-time job. When people say you gotta do it like it's a job, it's so true because I did it like it was my Saturday night job. So I would do the videos and post it on Monday. So I would edit Sunday, post it on Monday. And I started to grow. I even started doing cooking videos. I think my first cooking video I did on YouTube was in 2014 or 2015, if I'm correct. Around that time, because at that time I was on my fitness eat clean journey and I wanted to share like a quick recipe that I did that I was using. It was like quick and easy jerk chicken. And that kind of went viral for good and bad. And so you know I do have a personal YouTube channel. So that's where I kind of just got into being comfortable in front of the camera because at that time Instagram didn't have video. It wasn't like the lives and stuff wasn't a real thing. It was just about pictures. And I wanted to be comfortable. I just knew I was going to be a star. I knew I was going to be somebody. And I realized I wasn't comfortable in front of the camera when I had like a trunk show a year before that. So I was like, I'm just going to do YouTube and just get comfortable in front of being comfortable in front of the camera and just go from there. And it was such a great outlet for me. Before that, I was blogging. I had my own little blog and then I would talk about, it was a real good outlet for me. I would just post different pictures and God, I'm sitting here talking about this. I'm like, wow, look at where I am now. Whoa. I just had a moment. Okay. Yeah, so I would post video, pictures and stuff of fashion, beauty, and like just blog. And it was really a great creative outlet. I really actually miss those days, honestly, ladies, because now it's so much consuming and back then it was about creating and you didn't care if you had one person reading your blog, you was going to create something. And that's where I think I am back at, in a sense where I'm not so concerned with analytics. I'm not so concerned with being seen because I want to create from a purposeful angle. I want to create for community, so it's not so performative as it was feeling when you feel like you always have to post and do this and do that. It feels somewhat performative because it's not natural. It didn't feel natural, I have to say. It didn't feel natural. It just felt like I was forcing myself to be seen because I wanted to stay into the algorithm. But once I locked in with myself, I realized that God is the algorithm. Like God provided life for us, and we're chasing these digital platforms, this artificial intelligence algorithm when we are here in real life. And it really, really woke me up into really just becoming myself and what I deem to be purposeful with reaching my community. And it didn't involve being performative to be seen. I'm be seen for my authentic ways, whether it's dancing in front of the camera, having a good time, showing you guys behind the scenes stuff. If it was cooking my food, I'm not going to teach you how to do ham hocks and collard greens. Like that's not my thing. But I will teach you how to do a quick and easy recipe that's going to fill your belly up. It's going to taste good and it's going to look pretty. Okay. That's my niche. Okay. So, like, these are the things that I know as a woman at 40 years old, where I stand as being a woman of purpose and just elevating into that Christ-like collective, being godly and just and doing things authentically and not being driven by numbers and money and all of these things that really don't matter at the end of the day if you're not really reaching the people that you really should reach and present yourself in your authentic way. Not everybody is a clone of somebody else. Everybody's content looks like somebody else. It's so normalized now, and I just didn't want to be a part of that. I knew I was better than that. So when I had this epiphany and this random thing of you need to clean out all these, I had literally a bin, like the plastic bins you find at Walmart or Target to like, store your stuff. I literally had a bin and a half. I had like a suitcase too of wigs. Human, synthetic. I had locks and leftover braiding hair. It was just so much hair that I literally was holding on to for almost probably 10 years. It probably was 10 years. Like just yeah, it was 10 years. Like since like I said 2014 or so, I started my journey with the whole wig reviews and things like that, switching up my style, having fun with it, being creative. It was really a creative outlet too. And of course, I love girly girl things. So of course, I had a collection, but that collection was attached to my old self. That collection was not a representation of who I am now, and I felt like it was holding old energy that wasn't conducive to who I am becoming and who I've become. So I said, you got to get rid of this. This is stagnant energy that's still in your home that's weighing you down. That you don't need to look at this stuff no more. You don't need to store this stuff no more. You're never going to wear these wigs again. But I kept a couple. I kept like two or three. If I ever want to do a little role play or something like that. But other than that, it did not align with the woman I am now. So that was really interesting that I just was like, you got to get rid of. So I stayed up all night cleaning. Of course, there's clothes and stuff that I need to go through. Of course, with Persian clothes, I do that seldomly. I try to get through my clothes as much as I can. Right now, I feel like I'm at a point where it's like, okay, you pretty much I got rid of like the trendy stuff. Yeah, like I was at a point, it was a point like I was into like the stretchy stuff, the bodycon type stuff, and some little pieces I still have, but it was like you don't like you want to wear more outfits. Like Sherelle, you know how to dress, so you don't need these looks anymore. So of course I donated and got rid of them. But the hair I did not tackle. And it was time to get rid of it. Like, you're not wearing it no more. Like, I'm at a point, like, you gotta choose your signature style. I'm at a signature style era where it's like, okay, this is the hairstyle I like to wear. This is the color I like to wear. This is when I switch it up. This is the area on how I'm switching it up and when I'm gonna switch it up to look like. And this is how I'm presenting myself. And it didn't really include so much character. Um, a lot of times if I wear this wig or that wig, it was kind of like an alter ego quiet as kept. And in my life that I'm in and just the era that I'm in right now, I didn't need that anymore. Because my authentic self is everything. And I don't need to wigs never really even look good on me anyway. Let's talk about that. I never really felt and sometimes no shade, some girls they're still in their wig eras and I get it. Some people like the way the wigs look on them. Some people don't like the way they look without the wigs. Some people, they don't like that their forehead is the size of their so they try to, bring the wig down and shorten the forehead. Each his own. But I just wanted to be my authentic self. I don't want a lace front. Um it was cute. Well, it was fun. But when I look back, my when my mental health was probably struggling the most, when I was like in that survival depression, I was wearing those wigs. And I feel like that's when I drew the line. Like, hold on, you was wearing these wigs and these wigs was lifting. Y'all can go to videos. I'm not ashamed because every transition in your life, you just gotta face it. Y'all can see the videos where the wigs was not blending. Um when the wigs was not giving what it was supposed to give, my mental health was being challenged. I was grieving and the wigs was just easy at the time. And I was struggling finding good hair that didn't cost an arm and a leg and that I liked. And I was, so that was another thing. Then I didn't really want to do sew-ins anymore. Like, it was just a weird time for me. And I look back and then I see those wigs was attached to a version of myself that wasn't my best self, but still, working toward my best self. I'm never ashamed. Never, never, never. But because that's an old version of myself, it was time to purge it. It was time to get rid of it. It was time to get rid of those wigs with the crusty got to be glued on it. It was time to get rid of it. But we're gonna get more into that. Make sure y'all stay tuned after these messages. All right. Hey ladies, did you know there were levels to luxuriating? Maybe not, because I just made it up. But here at S Desire Brand, we have levels to luxuriating. And what you see me in right now is level 1. This is our Fab Leisure robe. Today marks its 4-year anniversary official drop. And this robe comes in pink, black, and red. And this is your starter robe. So if you don't have a loungewear collection yet, I always recommend you start with level 1. This is the robe that you can sleep in, you can luxuriate in, you can eat in, you can clean in, you can cook in, all of the above you can do in this robe. And it takes a good beating. It's machine washable, machine dryable, and it's timeless. Okay. So if you want to get yours, you want to shop CherelleDesire.com and stay tuned to the next episode to our series, The Levels to Luxuriating. All right, ladies, stay fabulous. Don't mind my shoes. I was just being extra. Okay, so I had a big garbage bag of wigs and hair and just old, bad, stagnant energy. It was like, girl, you should have been to this. But nothing happens before it's time, okay? So I literally felt so much lighter once I trashed them. I was like, oh my God. Like, and then just looking at those wigs and just like the energy that was attached to it and just like who I was when I was wearing those wigs and how did I feel about myself then? What kind of people was I talking to when I was wearing those wigs? All of it had some type of attachments that I was so happy to purge. It felt so therapeutic. Listen, girls, listen, okay? This summer, you want to pick your signature look, your signature fragrance, your signature, like even my makeup, I kind of transitioned to a different like foundation, just like a different method of how I put my makeup on. Like everything kind of deserve a tweak in your transformation journey. And it just feels good. It just feels good just to be just feeling my authentic self. And when you're working on yourself, the glow comes from within. And when you know that you are on the right path is when you're glowing and it's not tied to an aesthetic or like, oh, I got some new teeth or, I got these lash extensions. No, like when you're at your purest form, no makeup, no hair, nothing, you can see the transformation in yourself. You can see the glow into yourself. You don't have to lay on the table for it. Like everything is just so natural and of course, I love my extensions. I love my I love enhancements. Don't get me wrong, but it was just time to kind of with my divine direction. I felt like I was definitely going to be showing up differently. Whether I'm wearing some clip-ins or like right now I have like some distressed locks that. It's just giving like divine beauty, just goddess energy. Like the goddess locks are not called goddess locks for no reason. It just gives like goddess energy. Just feeling just really good about myself and putting it out into the world, and me putting a helmet on my head with some hair, like a hair helmet. It's like sometimes you feel like, and this is you wearing wigs because you got alopecia. You wearing wigs because you're creative. You know that's your thing, or it's a protective style for a couple weeks. That this is not applied to you. But if you're wearing wigs and your identity is attached to the wig, you might just want to re-examine some things. But it won't come to you until you're in this phase of your transformational journey. It's not going to come. Like, because I was wearing them. And I'm trying to date with these wigs on. I was a hot mess. But when you are in like that depression phase where your decision making skills are cloudy, you're happy if you was able to wake up and eat some breakfast. Okay, girl. So the last thing you really worried about is if your wig looks good. You're just happy that you was able to apply it and curl it and make it look pretty. Like, I'm pretty. Like, it's just like, you're not really chasing perfection at the time. You feel like you look good. And it's all about like that vision, that clarity. And I feel like cleaning is required for clarity. I didn't see it then. I didn't see it. Even with my weight gain, I tell people all the time, like, people look at me now and was like, oh my God, trust me, whatever you see, I don't see it. I didn't see it then. Like now I see myself, I'm like, okay, I feel like I look more like myself again. Back then I wasn't. I was under spell work, all types of dark energy was being thrown my way, baby. Trust and believe. And oh, that's another episode, baby. Okay. Listen, I said in the last episode, if you are around somebody and you start to get ugly, you better you better look into some things, okay? Energy don't lie. When you are, whether it's depression or an outside source, like a person, people, place, a thing, could be a place that you're going to that has dark energy that's draining you and changing your looks and changing the way you show up. But energy don't lie. So energy, you can't, unless you have special sight, which some people do, you cannot see when something is of a low frequency, or I would say a demonic energy. You don't always see it now, but you as a spiritual being, this is our physical being, but we are spiritual beings. So your spiritual self can sense it. And that's where the cortisol can happen. Say if you work out too hard, you've been doing a bunch of like crazy workouts, and your cortisol levels go up. Or you're eating foods that don't really agree with you and it's stressing your body out. Or you had a job that's stressing you out. Cortisol also reacts to spiritual stuff too. Let's get into it. So, when I was in that phase, I was around certain energies that was raising my cortisol levels, making me look like a marshmallow man. Okay. Face was puffy, swollen. I was swollen. When I look back at it, I'm like, oh my God, it's hard. Listen, it's hard for me to even look at my videos from 2 years ago. It's a little hard. I'm not even going to lie. I'm like, oh my God. Like sometimes you just don't see like the clarity don't come sometimes until that transformation starts to develop. Like I did not see what was happening. God saved me. God will save you from yourself, child. From the decisions that you're making that has caused you to be in the bad space where you're literally being attacked spiritually, psychic attacks being sent your way. God will save you from yourself because you put yourself in that predicament, baby. And it's a lesson too. There's a lesson there. Trust and believe. God let me get my butt whooped before he's like, all right, let me save it. It's like, you throw somebody in the water while you let them drown a little bit to teach them how to swim. Like the babies, you throw the babies off in the pool or whatever, and people, you see the videos and they just throw the baby off and the baby be, trying to, get themselves together and then they might start to swim, but it's somebody there to save them. But before that, they struggle a little bit. That's where I was. Okay. So, And that's just all to say that that clarity was not there until I did the cleansing and the cleaning of my environment, people, places, and things. So I did not see that the wigs looked like shit on my head. It was tea at the time. I put the little curls in the baby, put my makeup on. Struggling, honey. Struggle bus. And plus it was trendy. That's another reason why I'm so happy to just be in my authentic self, because it's like I'm not chasing anything trendy. It was just trendy. Like, he just kept seeing wigs. He just kept seeing people glue wigs on their foreheads. You'd be like, oh, okay, let me try that. Like, girl, you got edges and a hairline. What are you doing? Like, God bless you with edges. Go ahead and wear your hair. So, but we all have our vices. We all have our vices. So whatever you feel like is gonna make you to look the best. But for me, it was not giving best. It was not giving elevated. It was not giving polished. No, I cannot. Like, I feel like to be polished, I like the whole process of just gluing the wig on your forehead just doesn't get polished. Like, because it can pop off your forehead if you sweat the wrong way. Like, that's not polished. So no. But within our elevation journey, you just gotta improvise. You gotta look, make better decisions, and keep moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta keep making the decisions to make things better and make yourself look better and feel better, and just make better decisions. Just be better. While still just enjoying the journey and just showing up as yourself, okay? But I'm always up for seeing something spontaneously, because that's just what phase I'm in my transformational journey. Like, okay, so the type of people that I might have conversed with, or the type of men that I thought I was attracted to, all of that has changed. So it ain't just the wigs. The things I like to eat, the things I like to drink, some of that has changed. Like, things will change on your transformational journey. And, my phase right now was throwing a bunch of wigs away. But yeah, I just love that for myself. And I just telling y'all the story. So maybe it's something that you might want to examine and make a change. Because I think, and there is I don't know if you guys feel it, but there is a transformation going as a collective. Even with like celebrities are not really viewed the same anymore. People are kind of getting tired of certain things that we've been pushed to look into. But I feel like it depends on what timeline you're on. If you're on a higher timeline, you probably can feel what I'm feeling. If you're on a lower timeline, that's another phase that's going on too. Pick your poison. But I choose to be on a higher timeline, and I feel like there's a collective going on, just like even with the whole Diddy trial and just everything that's being exposed about P. Diddy, Puffy, just the darkness of it all, from the abuse and the trafficking, just the over sexualization of his lifestyle, like that sexual deviancy that he possessed, and using Cassie as pretty much a sex slave. And I'm pretty sure it's a lot of other stories about other women that went through the same thing. It's just not publicized yet. But when you realize how deep and dark some of these lifestyles are, it's being exposed now. So before, you remember when Diddy was like, yeah, if you sleep when you're dead. You gotta be up, get up, work if you want to be successful. You remember that phase, in the 90s and 2000? Puffy was gonna make people feel bad for trying to get some rest, baby. And then the tea spilled. That nigga was high. That nigga was on uppers. Of course his ass wasn't sleeping. Listen, if you want to be a drug addict and be successful too, dude, go at it. Like, these people were promoting an unnatural way of living and a lifestyle that was attached to demonic activity, deviancy, and over sexualization. Like when you really, really open up and really figure out, like, yo, that never was the way to live. That was never tea. But so many people thought it was because he was rich and he was famous. But the things that he had to do to get there and the things that he exposed people to while being there is insane. And because we're in this different timeline, things are being exposed. And baby, if that's not helping you get to your transformation phase, if that's not helping you be a better version of yourself, I don't know what to tell you. To see things differently and be like, no, that's not the way. Like, even like we go back into the whole sex thing. And I want this for the next generation of women, young girls, to not be exposed to sex so early. I feel like us 90 babies, 90 kids, we were exposed to sex very, very, very fluently, easily, from the movies. And my mom didn't shelter me, she didn't. We was watching HBO, all of the things. But I feel like I was exposed to sex where I felt like I was supposed to be having sex, instead of just naturally getting there. I felt like and then your hormones and stuff kick in too. No lie, like that happens. But I feel like if I was so exposed to it, I would have probably made a different decision. I would have made a better decision. Like now I feel like I'm backwards. Shit, I was getting let me shut up. Yeah, I feel like now I'm just a lot more. I'm just in a space where purity is just more of the like the lane, and like I don't want to do anything unless it's with my divine partner. And nobody talks about your divine partner because you're supposed to have, you're supposed to kind of mix and mingle. They tell you should mix and mingle in your 20s and stuff like that, figure things out and get your experience and stuff like that. And I know what I like. I know what I like to do. I like what I like to get into. But I want to do that with my divine partner. So it's a little easier for me to just practice abstinence and just be, just on this higher timeline where I don't feel so drawn to, sharing myself with anybody. I'm so gatekeeping myself. Gatekeep yourself, ladies. Gatekeep yourself. All right. Especially if you're under the age of 35 and you're watching this. Or 30, I should say 30. Just keep yourself. I don't know. I just feel like everything has been so over sexualized, and just seeing what Cassie went through, I'm like, wow. Poor girl. Her poor womb. Like, protect your womb. Protect your womb. But however that feels in your space and your heart and your soul and your spirit right now, when I say that, do it. Protect your womb. But I done went all over the it's a good episode, child. I went all over the place. So I'm gonna bring it back to, sometimes you need to purge. Sometimes you need to purge things. You need to purge people. You need to purge thought processes. The old way of doing things, you might need to purge that and think of new ways and approaching things and new ways and doing things. And I feel like that's where I am in my life. And that comes with a feeling. It comes with a look. It has currency. That energy definitely is valuable. So if you are ready to transform into your best self, be sure to subscribe here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to CherelleDesire.com. Come be a part of our community by signing up to our email and text list. I am also planning a few little things, events and things like that in person here in Philadelphia. So if you're interested, make sure you stay tuned and make sure you stay tapped in. Okay, ladies? I want you to stay fabulous, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.